Hey, hello everyone, I'm Kevin Liu, and today my report is killer white Orcinus orca hearing, auditory brainstem response, and behavioral audiograms. And auditory brain response is a common way to extend hearing and determine hearing brain tone. And in the following, I will call this ABR for short. And first, the files can be divided into audacity and mysticity, and the killer white belongs to the audacity. And I will introduce the killer white's hearing. And members of the two white have an auditory system with high frequency hearing to at least 100 kHz. But Hale and Johnson found that a single sub-adult male killer white had a high frequency audiogram cutoff at 32 kHz. 32 kHz isn't consistent with other tooth white that typically extend to 100 kHz. And more recent data from Orcinus indicate that they can reach 120 kHz. And the behavioral audiograms have been collected from these nine tooth species. And this Orcinus is what Hale and Johnson do experiment on. And the other 8 species tooth file, their behavioral audiogram ranges from 100 to 150 kHz. And the study I report today was conducted to compare the ABR and behavioral audiograms of two trained killer whites. The one file is named Yaka, and the other one is named Spiga. And both of them are adult and female killer whites. And how do we do the ABR experiment on killer whites? And then first we train killer whites to keep his head at this target. And then we use this hydrophone. Use this hydrophone to generate two bursts as stimulus. And this 12 frequencies were tested in a random order. And 1 kHz and 2 kHz, its duration is 1 microsecond, and the other 10 frequency, its duration is 0.5 microseconds. And the tune burst intensity ranges from 10 to 150 decibel. And we will reduce the tune burst in 10 decibel steps by step until the ABR response was no longer detectable. And then we increase the stimuli intensity in 5 decibel step by step until the ABR will appear. And after all frequency was tested, and next what we should do is to determine ABR threshold. And this graph shows is the ABR from Yaka. It's from ABR to Yaka to 32 kHz tune burst. And we use this PIII to the N4 wave because it has the largest amplitude. You can see this in the 40 decibel. It's PIII and N4 latitude. Amplitude is larger than this range, and 0.175 to minus 0.75. Yaka's ABR to the 32 kilohertz. His ABR threshold is 40 decibel. And this picture shows Yaka and Vegas ABR to 32 kilohertz, and you can see with the intensity, with the decibel increase, and their amplitude will increase. After collecting all the data, after collecting all the data, we can make these two graphs. This one is Yaka's ABR compared to behavioral audiograms, and this one is Vegas. During behavioral trial, one file they can respond to 120 kilohertz tunes. And you can see the most sensitive frequency is 20 kilohertz. This and this. And this picture is the mean of the last two pictures. And this table is made from these two like ABR and behavioral. And you can see the most sensitive frequency as 20. And discussion, and the most sensitive frequency was 20 kilohertz at 36 decibel at 20 kilohertz, and this result is similar in sensitive. It is similar in sensitive to reported by Hales and Johnson. And the U-shape, and this U-shape audiogram resembles to the Hales and Johnson's data from that single males. So except for the Hales and Johnson high frequency threshold of 32 kilohertz, and the current and these two can get to 120. And discussion and the reason to explain the high frequency hearing loss in neurologic genetic pathogenic disease and toxic drug and noise exposure, and human use noise to heard while marine mammals for capture, and inner ear damage in wild marine mammal have been attributed to the man-made noise from the underwater explosive. So we are unable to determine the one tested by Hale and Johnson was exposed to harmful noise during its home range or during it was captured.
Okay. So 8 minutes and 40 seconds. Yeah. Jesse. Daniel. Kevin Chen. Yeah.
What's ABR mean?
ABR. It's a way to extend your hearing and determine your hearing threshold. That's hearing limit.
Hearing threshold.
Hearing limit. Like Yaka and Vegas limit is 22 kilohertz. 20 kilohertz.
Okay. Jessie.
Can you go to 10 page? So, can you explain again what does this figure mainly show us?
In this picture, I said tuberous intensity is ranging from 10 to 150, and we use this way to determine the ABR threshold. It can it can generate this curve. Because we experiment on many different intensity. And we use different intensity tuberous, and the big guy and Yaka will generate different amplitude of this. It's P3 to N4 wave.
Daniel.
About your conclusion, I want to ask what is 14 page? What is autotoxic drug and pathogenic disease?
Autotoxic drug means it's toxic to your ear. It means you use this drug and it will it's bad for your ear. And the pathogenic disease means it can kill you.
Kevin Chen.
Can you turn to 7 page 7? What's the can you explain again what frequencies were tested random of that time?
And we test this 12 frequency in a 12 light. And 1 kilohertz and 2 kilohertz is tuberous. We will let it last for one microsecond, and the other 10 frequency we will let it last for 0.5 microsecond.
Volunteer question. 1, 2. Okay, Roy. Yeah. Answer. Sorry.
This picture, the frequencies tested, the biggest data is 100, but new results using one will respond to 120. So I want to ask how this data.
120 is in a behavioral experiment. This is ABR experiment.
Yeah.
Answer.
How long did the experiment take during all those tests?
In the behavioral experiment, it takes 2 years to collect this data, and ABR not sure.
Okay, my turn. Okay, so you didn't make 10 minutes. I think the main issue of your talk will be like some audience asked. what is the difference between auditory brainstem response and behavioral audio? What's the difference? Because here you have a slide where you show ABR is auditory brainstem. What's R? Okay, response. And the other is behavioral audiogram. Okay, that's difficult. So they are different things. And how different they are?
How different is their stimuli?
Stimuli? I think stimuli is the same, or more concrete.
Stimuli is duration, and in API that duration is 0.5 or 1 microsecond. But in the behavioral stimuli, their duration will be 2 seconds.
So they are the same thing, but it's just a different duration of measurements. Are you sure? Yeah, I doubt. Yeah, because I wonder why is there a brainstem response? Brainstem. Do you know what's brainstem? Yeah, here, huh? So I thought ear is here, huh? So why is something related to ear?
You hear the voice and your listening will change.
And what does behavioral mean here? Why there is a you know what's behavior, right? Action, behavior. So I think next time you should have at least 2 to 4 slides explaining us what's the difference between brainstem, auditory brainstem response and behavioral audiograms. Ask Professor Moore. I don't know, but my feeling is your explanation was not correct. And you also need to explain us regarding ADR and behavioral audiogram. What's the difference when you measure? Because you need to measure both, right? Is there any different ways of measuring this? Like you have a monitoring hydrophone here, and then these are really small. You have an auditory hydrophone here, and you have electrodes here. You put electron on the wheel, or? So why? And which one measure ABR and which one measure behavioral audiogram? Yeah, we don't need to explain now, but that's something you need to explain next time. Yeah, I really have no idea what's going on here. Okay, and then you need to give us slides. Okay, that seems to be your purpose. So you should use end of this study here to draw our attention. And when you explain your figure, you should, because you have to be aware that most people are not familiar with this kind of graph. So you have to explain the axis. The axis here. And here you try to explain something like the nanovolt or whatever here. But I would say this is not very clear. Even for me, it's not very clear what you want to say. Especially, it's even more confusing when you start to show things that seems to be irrelevant, unrelated to your talk. Like what's PIII-NIV? Did you ever talk about this? Did you? Which one is PII? I can't even see it on the screen, so it's very unclear to me. So I would suggest that you make this large, very, very large, and you explain clearly. First, of course, you need to explain what's ABR. And then you explain in your own words. What's this? And I think there's a peak to peak. Something peak to peak. Does it mean peak to peak? Is it? Or peak, but I think most people would say in English it's called valley, not peak. So you need to explain what's peak to peak. In English, that means valley to peak. Yeah. Do not just read the sentence from the paper. So explain in your own words because you have graphic here. You explain where did you get this 350 nanovolt? Where does the number come out? And the same applies to, at the beginning you talk something like a cutoff at 32 kilohertz. I wonder how many students here understand the word cutoff. But anyway, you didn't explain here, but later on you talk about this cutoff again. Where is that? Here. Did you say something about the cutoff? Can we see this cutoff somewhere in your figure?
The cutoff there.
Which one? 10, 11, 12. Which one?
100.
100? There?
There
But they are talking about cutoff of 32 kilohertz. Where to look at in your figure?
The cutoff at 32 kilohertz is another paper.
Another paper. Then can you explain to me what's cutoff?
It's
Upper limit. Then you should explain in your own talk, not after my inquiry of your talk. Okay, and then lastly, regarding your discussion, I would say I have no idea why this came out. Because you seem to be talking about ABR and behavioral audiogram. Then suddenly you talk about disease. I don't know why. There's a missing link. You need to tell us why you start to talk about disease or hearing problems. Okay. Lastly, there's no conclusion. If you want a conclusion, you should add one. Like shortly repeat your key finding. Okay. Okay, and then pronunciation well. I don't remember how you pronounce. Okay, so let's thank Kevin Lu. Our last speaker is